Welcome to another episode on our channel. I finally got around to washing my lion. You can call it washing, weathering, whatever you want to call it. It basically is just giving it a covering so that it has some character. So if you're going to do a wash, you're going to take a few drops of paint in a paper plate or a plastic plate, something disposable, and probably get your brush really wet and then just mix the moisture into the paint so the paint becomes watery, not extra watery, just somewhat watery. You're going to start painting all around the character and get as much paint as you can get on it. And then you're going to take something uh, like a washcloth or a drop cloth or a microfiber thing and just lightly dab the paint off. In some areas you want to maybe take more paint off than in other areas. And if you take too much paint off, the beauty in this is that you can take that paintbrush and put more paint on and then just dab it even lighter still. So this was my first attempt to weather something. I was gonna do blue, silver. No. I was gonna do it in this color. So it seems to have turned out fairly well from my perspective. So we'll pause. I'll put it on a turn tray and then we can kind of take a closer look at it. All right, we're back and we'll do a quick go around so you can see what was done with this particular lion. You can be more aggressive with the paint, less aggressive. Like I said, if you do end up taking too much off, you can just put more paint on it and be even more gentle with dabbing the paint off. There really isn't any formula to this process. It's just what you end up liking in terms of the final look. You really want to see the contours and the shading. And if you've achieved that, whether it's aggressive or not so aggressive, I think that's a win. So you may not have seen as many details as imaginable from this distance, but we're going to pause and get a closer view of this lion. So let's go around again. And again, the whole focus is not to overdo it. You don't want to leave all the paint on. You want to dab enough paint off so that you see some details, but it's subtle, I guess. For me anyway, that's how I would go. Now, could I have gotten this darker? Yes. I wouldn't want to get it too much darker, though. So not too bad. And this really didn't cost that much to make, I don't believe. Do you remember?
It was like $1.75.
Oh, okay. So, and I have my lion. Anyway, we'll pause now and I'll show you something else I weathered. We are back, and this is the second thing I weathered today. I was on a, not weathered, but washed. I was on a washing drive today. So, same color, brown. Got the paintbrush wet, mixed it around the paint so it's watery. And then again, you dab it on and then you do it all. From my perspective, you need to do it all at once. And it'll start kind of drying, not really that much, but Then when you're done with the whole thing, you can start dabbing some of the paint off. And like I said, if you get too much off, just repaint it and dab it even lighter than you did before. But this is a skull with horns with the eagle on it. And we've had it around forever, painted it white. The resin is actually kind of a grayish tone. So this, according to my husband, cost about the same amount as the lion did, because this is hollow. This is actually not hollow. It's got a little more weight, more substance to it. Harder to find places to put holes in it, and it wouldn't support itself so nicely if you actually did try to empty it too much. So we'll pause now and get some close-ups of this one. So here's a better close-up of the skull with horns and the eagle on it. I don't think it would have been worth our while doing a turnaround far away. So I'll just go slowly here so you can see how the weathering, or the washing, I should say, how it all turned out. Lots of places for crevices to be highlighted. And again, you want to paint the whole thing with a paintbrush that has water on it, and you've mixed it with the paint. So the paint is fairly, it's not overly watery, but a thick paintbrush with water in it and a few droplets of paint should be enough to give it the look that you're going for. I think this is a very cool object. The skull with the horns and then the eagle. Yeah, it turned out really, really well. So here's the lion and the skull with the eagle. I actually could have done this in black, but I really wanted more of a weathered brown look to this one. And of course, brown was a good choice for a lion. So I will show you one more thing. And, well, actually, let's pause. And I'll bring the other thing out. So we're back again, and here is the lion and the skull with the eagle on it, basically washed in the same color, a dark brown, with a wet paintbrush. And like I said, you just dab it off, as much paint as you need to get off. You really want to see the contours and the creases and have those pop out. And I think you'll be very happy with the end result. So experiment with this if you get a chance. I think you'll be happy with the outcome. I wanted to show you a banner that I made today as well. So I had this tin can that was lying around forever. I actually got a head sculpt that was placed in this tin can. Can't even remember what head sculpt it was, but kept the tin can on the off chance I might use it someday, and decided to make a banner. Wanted to use a lion because, of course, my lions are playing tomorrow, and I'm hoping they do well. So this is just a black and white picture of a lion, and double-sided tape was put on the back and cut to fit. This is felt, and I used a silver marker to just put lines around it so it looks a little more uniform. These are wooden bells that are stained and in the form of a T. Super glued it here, or I think this was hot glued. I'm not sure. Super glued, hot glued, whatever works is what you need to do. Kind of singe the edges with a lighter, have loops here to go around the top piece of wood. So you can actually use anything as a base for a banner if you're creative and can think outside the box, anything will probably work. And it doesn't have to be a picture for the banner. It could be a crest. It could be some sort of quote, proverb, something that's meaningful to you. Something that you might want to put next to a figure as well. Of course, I have a lion, so I'm going to put this one next to my lion. So I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen today. If you have, consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. In the meantime, everyone, please have a great day.